And we're on.
Good afternoon, folks. Happy August.
Yeah, summer's going so quick. Oh,
August 6th.
it's scary how fast it's going.
Yes, it is. It
Mm.
really is. Well,
So I have no idea what we're going to speak about. We just figured we'd come on for a little bit because actually the last show did pretty well. We had like 64 views or something, which I know sounds like nothing, but I really don't expect but five of you to actually watch the show. Um, anyway, so let's start. I guess we'll start by talking about this Mamdani thing I heard. Supposedly they found, I think it's 270,000 illegal votes that should have
okay.
never been cast or something like that. And it turns out he only won by 213. So it's kind of like a little, I don't know if you want to call it a conspiracy theory or anything like that, but it was just, it was kind of strange that they're finding all of these illegal votes. I think there was 6,000 in Jersey, if I'm right. And
Wow.
yet there's no voter fraud. And that'll bring me to another thing here, actually, now. So, again, Mamdani, all right?
Ooh, excuse
If I say all right one more time, Kerry, hit me in the head, okay, please?
me.
Anyway, so Mamdani wants to open these grocery stores, right?
Yeah, it's a kick in the ass. I
And
love this
and
one.
he's you got to open them up, but they're for New York City
Only.
residents.
Right.
So they have to figure out how to stop New Jersey from coming over here and getting
Okay.
a 30% discount
Right.
and then
So how
selling
do we
it.
do that?
So how do we do that?
Go ahead.
We need identification.
Yeah,
This is
man.
the same identification that you weren't smart enough to get
To vote.
to vote. In other words, so you didn't know how to get it for that, but you'll get it for this.
Right.
I
They told people that you're not smart enough to vote, you can't vote, especially the women because of
they made
the
matron names, whatever. Yeah, like their former name if they were
right,
married.
the Patriot Act, the voters.
The Save Act, isn't it?
Save Act,
Yeah, Save Act.
yes. The Save
Anyway,
Act.
but it's just so strange how hypocritical they are.
But to go to his grocery store, you gotta have ID.
Yeah, but not to vote. So it's more dangerous for you to buy to our country for you to buy cheese than it is to vote for a president. I mean, make it make sense, please. Um, okay, so I
Put
guess
that bread down.
immediately. No, just pick any president at all. It
You don't
doesn't-
have ID.
Seriously, I've spoken about this in the past, and I got to go a little further into it. But you people got to stop thinking that everybody can be president. Mothers, right? If you're pregnant right now, stop. Or if you have kids, stop telling them that they can be president, please.
Yeah.
Okay, phrase it like this: in this world, in this society we call the United States, okay, you have the ability to become president if you pursue the right education. Okay, take it from that perspective. Okay, and the reason I'm saying this is
That's right.
because it started in my generation actually. So like I'm not taking a blind eye to this, but my generation, every mother turned around. It was a big like slogan even. Your son could become the next president. Yeah, it's true. You can become it. Doesn't mean you should.
Should.
Okay, that's really important difference you have to understand. You know what I mean?
Let that sink in.
Yeah, you can become anything you want, but that doesn't mean you should be. Like, if you don't have patience, don't become a teacher. You know what I mean? But a president is a very, very special job. That's why there's only one. There's only one. It's like the only job on the face of the earth where there's only one, and that's it. There can never be more than one. And you people are looking at it like, oh well, AOC could do that shit. No, you're
No.
off the boat. You're
No.
you know, friggin' better than her. I mean, you go with
No.
trying to think of some of their names, man. Some of the congressmen are actually like
I'm not
kind of,
Crockett.
oh, forget it. But no, I'm talking about like
Right? These people are morons.
who's that funny dude from like Kentucky or something like that? What's his name? Even like Joe Manchin and these guys, they're as good as they would be, and they have a basic idea of what it takes. They're not the right person. Okay, right now the right person to go in to follow Trump. You're gonna. I I don't really believe it to be J.D. Vance. Okay,
Me neither.
I believe it to be Marco Rubio.
Ah.
I think Rubio's been in.
Rubio be better.
Well, the reason I say that is what
I
makes
agree.
him, what rounded him off. Okay, so when he ran last time, I wouldn't have voted for him, and I'll explain to you why right now. Okay, last time he had a different view of finances. Okay, so last time he had the view of a poor person, And the thing about a poor
Right,
person
yes.
is when you give them money, they spend it. And a rich person, when you give them more money, when you give them money, they make more money. And that's kind of the important thing, you know? So what he got a taste of was how to make a good deal and how to make things profitable for our country. And that was something that he was missing. He understood all of the international details and all the all of the mishmash of everything else that went on, like budgets and all that crap. He did know that because he's been through like several different political positions, and he's like literally went up the rung of a ladder to get to where he's at. And right now, if you look at how many jobs he has, and he handles them absolutely perfectly, by the way. I'm sorry. Anyway, so he handles them absolutely perfectly. The only thing he was missing was a financial, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Ingenuity, so to speak. And I think, I don't know if that's right. That's not right. Anyway, it's not right. Don't worry about it. I'm not stupid. I'm just dumb today. Um, and that's kind of what being around Donald Trump did for him. It made him appreciate how to make a good deal
Yeah.
from a profitable point of view, not to just, in other words, I think prior to him being around Trump, he would have given in on a lot of deals just to get them done.
Yeah. And I'm okay with
And
that.
I think now he realizes that sometimes holding back is worth it. And so he would be my next choice as far as who goes into office.
I
If
would
I
agree.
if I could get Trump for another 4 years, I would do it. I'm not gonna
Take it
lie,
too,
man.
yeah. Yo, yo.
I'm not gonna lie. I would actually do it because the man is just a robot. He's amazing. Anyway,
Keep it going.
so any of you guys following this Nolan Wells case? Nolan Wells was a kid who on 4th of July,
Yeah, you man that drowned.
yeah, he went out to this place called Horn Island, and he drowned. I mean, that's what happened to him. And his parents are trying to make like another. I hate to say this because I know if it was my kid, I would get so pissed off at someone saying this, but I can't help it. It's just the way I feel. His parents are grifting this so horribly. Um, they're literally making stuff up about friends and about. They're just, the mother is like doing some uh, internet influencing and this and that. Let me tell you something. If I lost my kid on July 4th this year, I wouldn't even be speaking. I would my voice would not be active. And I don't give me the shit about everybody grieves differently. Yeah, we grieve differently, but we actually grieve.
Right. I was about to
And
say
this,
that.
this
You
chick
agree.
is not grieving. This chick is more worried about making somebody guilty for of the murder, which there was no murder. And the reason she wants to do that is because, again, it's just like the Carmelo Anthony shit. They want to keep the GoFundMe going. That's all it is. And it's just absurd, man, because this kid seemed like such a great kid. From what everybody said about him, he was like the nicest kid going.
You seem like a nice kid. You look like
He
a
was
nice young
he
man.
was an athlete. He was
Mhm.
he had
He was doing the
he
right thing.
partied. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that.
We
What-
did it.
But what they say is that
Right.
the undertow or the undercurrent, they called it. They didn't call it undertow. I don't know if it's different. That's why I'm correcting myself.
We used to go the undertow. You're right.
Well, no, I don't know if one pulls you out and one
One
pushes
pulls you
in.
in, right.
I don't know.
Right. I get mixed
Listen,
up too,
I don't
right.
know nothing about the Navy. Anyway, so
All
whatever
I
it
know
is,
it took my ass one time.
they said it was really bad. They said it's really bad around there. And from what I understand, you go out and the floor goes from like
level
2 feet, 4 feet,
and
6
then
feet, and then bang, 30 feet. So I don't really know. I mean, again, I've never been there. I don't, I have no idea. But it's just absurd the things people are making up about this shit.
Well, of course, then you got like the
And you never hear, I don't mean to say this,
Al
but
Sharpton and all them making his races.
well, Al Sharpton was the best because he ain't giving up no money. He goes, I'll put up $50,000 for the arrest and conviction of any. Who are you going to arrest, Charlie Tuna? I mean, I'm sorry, but the kid drowned. What are you going to do? King Neptune? I mean,
Aquaman.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
All right, come on.
Aquaman, you have 6 to 10 years for the death of Nolan Will. It's just,
They're trying to
dumb.
make this like
And
a race case and all of this shit.
and you got that Tyler Perry doing the same thing, which is absurd. But the funniest part, and again, I'm gonna show you something, okay? the funniest part about this is they say it's not race. It's not about race, but they never accuse the black kids. And I'll tell you why. The reason is because once they admit there were black kids there,
It's true.
then they have to admit that the racism wasn't that bad. And that because the truth of the matter is everybody who's been interviewed in the area says that it's very, very level. It's not, it's a very welcoming community.
Right.
Um,
And there are a lot of black people there.
yeah, so I don't know anything
So,
about it,
yeah.
but I just the sad part about it is there was I got to go into a different story about Benjamin Crump a minute. So Benjamin Crump, there was some kid who hung himself, and I don't know the state. I don't remember offhand. It might have been Alabama, it might have been Mississippi, something like that. Wherever Emmett Tillis was hung,
Mississippi.
was it Mississippi?
I believe it was Mississippi.
I'm not
That's
sure,
when
but-
they did the Mississippi burning. So.
I'm tired. I'm really tired today. Wherever it was, that's where this happened. So Benjamin Crump. So this kid hung himself, and he really did hang himself. It's the autopsy was, shown that he didn't have any help.
It's tragedy.
So first, Crump runs down there, and he stirs up the towns. It's white people lynching black people all over again. Blah 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 blah. And I'll tell you something else stupid he said when I'm done with this, if I remember. If I'm,
What you said to say.
So anyway, all of this shit comes out. And it turns out that the kid, it was a suicide. I mean, it was nothing
Right.
more than that.
What do you say?
And so that comes out. So Benjamin Crump now just literally, I'm not even joking, disappears. Now you have a certain responsibility at that point to turn around and say, listen, we got it wrong. Okay, it turns out that it wasn't racism, and that that's the right thing to do because you already stirred up this hornet's nest. And now you just get up and walk away. And now it gets to fester. And that's where everything goes bad. Okay. What was the other thing I was going to tell you? I forget now. Damn, it was about the Nolan Wells case, and I can't think of it. It'll come back to me, and I'll just throw it out there. Anyway,
We're just sharing what people got to do and try to make this case into something that it's not.
so okay, so let me talk a little bit about Kerry and his case because we spoke about the GoFundMe, and it's still there. You can catch it it's on our other show, but I just want to talk a little bit about it.
Well appreciated.
Okay, so we're going to do a little bit at a time. We're going to today. We're going to do what are we at here? We're going to do 8 minutes on it. Whatever 8 minutes is up, that's where the story will stop, and we'll pick it up next show. So one day, Kerry goes to work. Okay, and
Wait,
God,
after working 22 and a half years. Right.
without one discrepancy,
Right.
without one infraction, without one accusation.
A stellar record.
Basically, yeah, that's the truth.
Not even a written statement. No.
Goes to work. He gets called into his office, to his manager's office. And what happened, Terry?
Now, before the 31st, because on March 7th, I went to work and I was told about my allegation.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, so I'm sorry. I have to go back. You started then. Go ahead.
On March 7th, I went to work. It was a Monday. Because my boss brought me into the office and he explained to me that lady in the building made an accusation against me of sexual harassment.
Stop. Listen to those two words, because I'm going to bring them up in a few minutes. Once you find out what this is about, sexual harassment. Sexual harassment.
Assault.
Okay, remember that. Sexual harassment. Assault or harassment? I need to know the specific.
Sexual harassment, assault.
Oh, / assault. It said sexual
I was
harassment
told
/
I
assault.
assaulted her and I was
Okay,
being accused of sexual harassment.
so let's remember that assault and harassment, sexual assault and harassment. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay, well, it was over looking at a female colleague in the building.
Stop. How do you assault somebody by looking at them? Let's start there. Assault. Think of what assault is. Okay, it's physical touch. Look it up. That's I believe the actual. It's unwanted physical touch. I believe, if I'm correct, that I believe that's the actual definition of it. So a look can't apply to that. Cannot apply. Okay, harassment. You cannot harass someone with a look because you can be in a mood that's your. In other words, So when you come around somebody, you got to go from being an angry person to being a happy person. Otherwise, they're going to feel sexually assaulted. Think about how stupid that is.
That's what I was told.
So think about how stupid that is. This is what the man had to deal with. But this was the Me Too generation. This was the believe all woman, which honestly was against his civil rights, because to believe all woman takes his presumption of innocence away, because you're supposed to be presumed innocent until proven guilty.
And that's exactly what happened. You ready?
So go ahead.
All right, so that was on March 7th. Now, of course, I'm working the whole week. 3 weeks later, March 31st. 3 weeks now, after being, well, I was accused before that, but I was told on March 7th, because as of March, I was accused. First week of March, maybe March.
In other words, that's when it went through the administration and came out to him. He
And
was accused earlier,
Right.
but they didn't tell him about it.
I go to work on March 31st. I'm going to punch in. One of the supervisors said, works, I guess he was a handyman, engineer, whatever, he was there. And he goes, you can't punch in. I said, no. I said, well, I go somehow. I said, what happened to the clock? He goes, no, you're being suspended, and he gives me a letter. And I hit the buzzer. I said, all right, so I said, really? Okay, so I took the letter. I said, let me go talk to Alexander. He goes, no, you can't. I said, no. I could go talk to Alexander, all right? Which is the secretary. So I go in, and she said, yes, she was nice about it. Okay. I said, but I got a few minutes. I don't have to leave right away, so I wanted to just get my couple of things out of my lock, my clothes, and everything. The supervisor followed me all the way to the locker room. I was like rushed out. I was abruptly removed from the building that day, where he waited outside. I said, listen, I have privacy to call my union rep.
He was escorted out of the building, basically.
Right, I was pretty much escorted out of the building. I was a threat.
From a look.
From a look.
A look. He, they were worried about him looking up the place.
So I left that day. Right.
I'm sorry.
Look, instead of shooting up the place,
Yeah,
looking up
that's
the
right.
place.
They were exactly.
No, really.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help that one,
Now,
man.
people, when we're finished, you're gonna sit back and you're gonna go. People want mental.
Oh my God, he's reloading his eyes. No, it's like
People want mental.
he's got glasses. Oh shit.
Now it gets even better, right? Because now I go home, I get a call from my union rep. Right. What does he tell me? I'm guilty.
Now, can you imagine that? This is someone who's supposed to represent you. Now, I'm going to tell you something before he goes on. There is not one shred of evidence. She has no evidence whatsoever. There is no witness. Now, we live in a society where if you reach into your pocket right now, you've got a camera. You've got a phone connected to a camera. All your friends have cameras. So if he was accused of doing this for 6 months. In that 6 months' time, you think she might have asked a friend to take a picture of when he's looking at her, or she might have snuck a picture of herself, or she might have asked a friend, will you at least watch and see what he does? Do you think she might have done that? You think that might have been, a nail in the coffin, a little more, along the protocol line of complaining about somebody? No, nothing. Not one shred of evidence. Not one.
I mean,
6 months.
And like you said, we're allowed to look.
It-
First of all, you have to see what you're doing. I worked there. I did maintenance around the building.
When he says allowed to look, he doesn't mean look in a lascivious way.
Right.
He means we're allowed to look where we have to look in order to get to where we're
Right.
going, to
Walk
where we
around.
look.
You gotta see right.
And the truth of the matter is, we can look at you any way we want. We can look at anybody any way we want. That's not that has no effect on your being. If you don't like it, walk away. Okay, but you can't stop me from looking at you.
Right.
You can't. First off, you don't know if I have an issue with my eyes and that I'm seeing from a different point of view. You don't know if I'm half blind and I don't see you at all and you just happen to be in my vision. If I'm winking at you, you don't know if something's in my eye or if I just ate something spicy or whatever.
Right.
You have no
And
idea.
what is that? You daydream. You stand in.
Yeah.
Start. And first of all, I respect. I always had respect for everybody.
The man has 3 sisters, was raised by a mother who was
Right.
very, very strict about
Married
it.
30 years.
He married 30 years and took care of his wife as she was passing away. has a daughter. Okay, he's not a lascivious individual. And as we said, 22 years, stellar, without one. You think this is the most beautiful girl who's ever walked into a building he's been in? I mean, is that really what you believe?
Yeah, thank you.
Come on, man.
But the best
Get a
is
reality check.
your union rep says I'm guilty. Okay, didn't have no hearing yet. We had a hearing on May 6th. I was told I was guilty then and to plead guilty. And I said, what? Over what? He goes, well, you sexually assaulted her. That's what I was told.
Hold on a minute.
Assault.
Wow. Are you okay?
Oh my God.
Are you? I mean, that's an assault. I just assaulted him. I looked at him.
This
That's
is
an assault.
sexual
Now-
harassment.
Now
This is what I was told.
you can turn around and go, "Oh no, you can absolutely sexually." No, you can't. No, I'm gonna look at you right now. Okay, I'm gonna look into the camera, and I want you to tell me what I'm thinking. Now, unless you said the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters, you're wrong. If you said that, I'm really impressed. But you cannot tell me what I'm thinking by the way I look.
But now it gets even better because the people are following it. Now I'm like, I'm not pleading guilty over a look. I didn't do anything. I said I work around the building. Now you ready for it? I was told I lingered on the floor where she works. Now you know why I lingered on the floor where she works? Because I had a job description to do, and one of my job descriptions was working on that floor. And there's a break room, a cafeteria where when you take a break, it's quiet. I sat there 20 years before she came along. And
She's been working at 3 years.
3 to 4 years,
He's been working at 22.
22 and a half years.
You think maybe he went to that room before she did?
I was always in that cafeteria. But I lingered just to look at her. Okay. I had to go into the office because of her. No, I had to go into their office because they eat.
3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. We went
Yeah,
over.
because they eat
3 more
there,
minutes.
and I had to take their garbage. But anyway,
No, slow down. Don't.
To-
We're not in a rush.
to
We're
make a
gonna come
long
back.
story, right? To make a long story short, that was my job description. Now, and this is what I was told. Then I was told I wanted a romantic relationship with her. These people are making up.
But there were
soap
no
operas.
comments.
But
So how do you? But there were no comments. And that's according to her. There were no comments.
no comments written
So
down.
how does she know he wanted dinner with her?
I never asked her
Did he
out.
lick his lips? You know, I mean, what? It makes no sense whatsoever.
No, like I said, this gets better with the people. Now I'm at my hearing with the union. The union rep. Okay, I was told okay. Then it was only going to start the investigation. I said, make a long story
Now
short.
realize how long this has been. How much time?
Well, I would say since March 31st, since I left that building, they roughly removed me 6 weeks after.
6 weeks. So 6 weeks later, you're starting an investigation. I'm sure everything is real fresh. Everything is real fresh. So at this point, there's probably been, a bunch of rumors going around about where Kerry went and what happened with Kerry and how Kerry did this and how. So by the time 6 weeks comes up, all you need is someone who didn't like him somewhat to come up and say, I saw it and I know it's bad.
He did
It's
it to
bad.
me.
He
He
did it.
did it to everybody.
He did it. That's all you need. And don't tell me there's nobody out there like that because there's a ton of fucking people like that.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, it's all he needs.
But guess
But
what?
6 weeks. But go ahead. What
Well-
happened?
But nobody in the building ever said I was bad to them because
He wasn't.
I wasn't. I wasn't. Only to her. But anyway. So now, all right, weeks go by. Well, actually, this is the best part. After May 6th, I told my union rep, sometime after May 6th, I wanted to go pick up my belongings.
Hmm.
Get my items out of my locker. He told me, this is from the defendants of the company and the union. So two of them turned around and said, no, you can't. They're going to open up your locker. They're going to take your stuff out, put it in a black bag, and put it by the way. When you're ready to come, somebody will put it by the warehouse there, right by the entrance, and you take it. I said, hey, hold on a second. No way. All right, so I talked to my brother here. He said, no, that's your Fourth Amendment right. They can't do that. So now I called the union rep back and I told him, I said, listen, go ask your lawyer if you don't believe me. He calls you back a day later and says, okay, Mr. Langenbeck, you can go pick up your stuff on May 25th, but you have to be escorted to. I said, yes, I told you that.
Now, it's dumb because why would you think you have the right to go? First off, supposedly he's still an employee there,
Just
Which
being
gives-
suspended.
which gives him the expected right of privacy to that locker. So when he was given it, he was
Mhm.
given it for privacy reasons.
Mhm.
You know, there's 1,000 things he could have in there that he doesn't want somebody to see. He could have medication he doesn't want seen. He could be anything. And unless he's terminated, in which case they have to have a police officer there
Right.
when they pop the
Right.
lock so that they say, because otherwise they could put something in there and say,
And they do that.
and say you stole
And they
something,
do that.
or they could steal something of yours.
Right.
Or the other thing is Kerry could lie and turn around and say, I have a 4-carat diamond in there that you guys stole. So you got to have some sort of verification. And that's what they weren't understanding at that point. You can't you can't illegally search somebody else's property.
Mhm.
And at that point,
Mhm.
that's his property. So it was dumb. So we already knew we were dealing with morons. Anyway, go ahead,
Yeah,
finish it
right.
up, Kerry.
Yeah, so that right from day one, right there and then, but then as we go along, then I had another hearing in June with my rep and his boss.
Now, wait a second. I want you all to understand something very clearly. He's suspended, but he's suspended without pay. Okay, he's not being paid. Now, what's happening also is there are people in this organization who assaulted someone with a broom handle, who actually touched girls, who actually touched them,
Right.
and these were students.
Follow them around.
Yeah, they're singing to them, and,
Right. That's
But
right.
the other guy physically assaulted somebody with a broom handle, and spent time suspended in something called the rubber room, which is kind of like a wait out room. You wait things
Right.
out.
They get paid for their 8 hours.
Yeah, you get paid
While they're being
you still
investigated.
have your insurance and all that.
Right. But they have to stay in that rubber room for
Right.
8 hours.
Kerry, on the other hand, was suspended, thrown off the property, no pay, and they swear they didn't terminate him, but they took his health insurance away. And the only way you do that is if you terminate somebody. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that right there for me. And I was going to say, as we went along, right, I go, you know what happened? I go get my medicine in the pharmacy.
Yeah, I remember that day.
The doctor sent medicine in. I go to the pharmacy. It was September 1st. Guess what? Oh, no, it was maybe a day
I
after.
remember that day,
Whatever.
and then-
It was before the Labor Day.
And then the other problems with your son.
Right.
I remember that.
And she goes, you don't have insurance no more. I say, excuse me? She goes, no, your insurance is canceled. I said, wow.
And they didn't tell him. Now, legally, I believe, I always thought that they had to tell you that. So
Supposed to.
they had to give you the option of if you're willing to pay for it. Now, remember, this is a union job, 32 B&J. So I thought they had to give you the option of you paying for it personally and holding on to it for, I think, 9 months to a year.
Yeah.
Or they offered you Cobra or
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
They never even let him know that they took it away from him,
You just
let
don't-
alone offered him Cobra or anything else
That's how I
as
found out.
replacement.
And I had my son one time. He was
My cat's going to jump
he
up.
was still on my insurance, and he was taking medicine and everything was canceled.
Yeah.
Without notification.
Imagine that. Imagine if your son needed insulin or needed, because, medicine's medicine. You know what I mean? I understand some of it is a little more detrimental, and some more necessary, but still, suppose your son needed something for ADHD, let's say, like Ritalin or something like that, in order to keep him from, having seizures or whatever it is.
And I couldn't get his medicine.
And you couldn't get it. Not because you did something wrong, but because you expected that you had insurance when it was taken from you. Think about that.
You were supposed. This is how it's supposed to work by law. You're supposed if you're accused of something, you're supposed to keep your pay, your insurance while being investigated
You have a presumption of innocence
before guilty.
before proven guilty.
But
You have,
apparently,
you have to be presumed innocent. You have to be.
apparently they did opposite because this went on for a while. Then here's the best part. Now we're going to get right to the point. April of 2023, I get a call. Maybe April 18th, 19th, right around there. Union delegate calls me and says, "Hey, Kerry." I said, "Yes." He goes, "I have good news for you." And I knew right away because I didn't do anything wrong. He goes, "Yeah, you were fully exonerated." Fully, he said fully, exonerated, and we have a hearing on April 20th. I'll be there. I got a letter from it supposedly. And then I was told that day, I went on April 20th, I could go back to work April 21st, which is the next day. So now I tell my union delegate, we're at the company's headquarters, the building we're here, I say, will I go back to my building as a whole?
Because he did nothing wrong. Why should he be punished?
Right.
You're supposed to be made whole.
Where I started 22
exactly
years
where
ago.
you started. Exactly where you
22
started.
years ago. Same building.
Yeah, but not 22. Exactly from March
Right.
7th or whatever it was that you were taken out of that building.
March
You-
31st.
Whatever. That's the date that you should go back to, and that's where the reset starts. And any pay that you were owed between
Right.
then and now,
Yeah, they took the year.
yeah, it should be paid, and your insurance should be immediately reinstated.
But now, what I want to tell you is just the worst part. This is why these people have come up to me, because I say, all right, I go back to work tomorrow already. I said, cool. I said, but I thought you had to give time because somebody's on my shift. So I wasn't even giving them time because I was out for a year. And the person that's on, I figured
But
2
the
weeks.
truth is, remember this: he lost his insurance, which means he was terminated,
Right.
which means he could not have gone back to work
Right.
on the 21st. It's not possible. He wasn't in the system,
Right.
and that's proven later on because they. Go ahead. I'm not going to tell.
No, you're right. That's proven later on.
Go ahead, finish. Go ahead, you finish because we'll let you get to that part of the story, then we'll stop.
All right, so I said I could go back to work. I said I go back to my building. And he said, no, no. I said, no, I go back to my building as a whole. And he looked at me like, what's that? I said, I go back because I was found fully exonerated. Nothing happened. I go back to my workplace to finish off my retirement. Simple. He goes, no, we could transfer you to a school, another building. I said, no, you can't. Okay. So now he's typing and he's talking to the defendants, the company inside the room.
We're suing him, by the way.
Oh, they lost, trust me. Now we're going, before we go into the room, so I gotta be respectful, but anyway, I didn't curse. Before I could even speak, I was abruptly removed from the room. I was told to leave the room. All because I told my union delegate that I go back to my building. I don't go to nowhere else. And they didn't want to do that because the nut, I called it a nut, that accused me of an assault by looking, was still working there. They didn't want me near her. But that's not my problem.
Now he was told that is his problem, by the way. He was told that it's his responsibility to keep her from feeling uncomfortable.
I was just about to say that.
Guess what? That's why they make therapists. Okay, go see a therapist if you got an
I
uncomfortability
was
problem.
told I made her feel uncomfortable. Okay. And you know what? The sad part is, people, I'm going to tell you the truthful honest. There were days I never even saw this person because we have work to do.
Like probably the most he's ever said to her was "Good morning" or something.
Yeah, how
like that.
are you? How you doing?
I'm like that too. I talk to everybody. He does. You know, it's just the way we
Friendly.
are. You know, like I pass by somebody, I say, "Have a great day." You know,
Right. Have a nice day. Good
you know,
morning. How
it takes
are you?
2 seconds, and sometimes it really makes somebody feel good because they don't get enough of that shit. So you know, I won't apologize for that, but that's probably what happened. And she's probably like got resting bitch face, 100% of the time, and
Yeah.
thinks she's hot shit.
Yeah. They're
And,
miserable people. They became miserable.
And so she's going to take it out on somebody else that, this is going to make her feel, oh, he's looking at me. Oh my God. Anyway,
Now, here's the best part. Like, through the whole, it's a big building.
this
We got
4-letter
6
word that begins
yeah.
with C, ends with T.
We got 6 floors. I'm all over the building. There were times I never even ran. I ran into so many women.
Now,
and
here-
nobody else
now
complained.
here's the deal. If he had really been interested in her, what floor was she on?
Second,
Okay, if he had really been interested in her, wouldn't he have been reprimanded for being on the 2nd floor too much?
but that was my job description.
But
I had to do
no
this.
one ever said to you, Kerry, you got to do the other floors. You're on the 2nd floor too
Right.
much, right? Wouldn't he have been on the 2nd floor too much if he was attracted to this girl?
Now, you want to hear something funny? In one area of the 2nd floor, next to their office, there's a women's restroom and a men's restroom, and there's a little slop sink we had there where we had supplies. So if I need anything to do the bath, it's in that area. So when she used to go to the bathroom, I was following her. Meanwhile, if I was doing that bathroom, the men's room, not the ladies, they had the women go in there, I was following her. But meanwhile, I'm doing my job. But this is what we got today.
Anyway, all right. So is there
This is what we
is there
got.
any more? Did we leave anything out?
No, just like we said, we sued them in 2024.
Well, we're gonna go on to that.
Beautiful.
We're gonna start how the lawsuit started and what
Okay,
they're
wow.
about, and
Beautiful.
we're gonna do all of that in the next couple of shows. If we did that in one show, we'd be here for 3 hours, dude. I can't
People-
do that.
Went delusional. Right, so.
Yep.
So be careful who you look at because you might assault them.
Yeah, listen. Listen. I got $1 million for
Wait,
anyone
Billy
out
Idol
there.
song. Eyes without a
Yeah,
friend.
no, wait. I got
No.
$1 million for anyone out there who can assault me with your vision. You gotta literally be able to smack the shit out of me with your vision, and I'll give you $1 million.
Wait, you have to undress me with your eyes, like I did with her. I
Oh,
undressed her with my eyes.
Oh shit!
I was, you know what? Wait a minute.
I thought I was talented being able
Oh.
to tie a knot with a cherry
Wait.
stem. No, I'm sorry.
Before we forget, this is going back. I'm not going forward. This is going back when you say sexual look when I was with the union. Remember I told you about the lady, union rep, the gay one?
Yeah. That was
Very
crazy.
nice lady, but she was in the room and my other two reps, and I'm sitting there, and we're all talking nicely, and she said, yes, there is a thing of a sexual look. So now the other guys on, I said, guys, wait,
No, wait, but I do want to. God, you finish now. Style.
Yeah.
God.
She goes, there is a thing that you could make, sexual look and all that. I said, okay, hold on a second. Everybody just stop. Please show me what a sexual look is. She started doing all of this, bro, with her eyes, this and that. So I said, you look like you're having a seizure. That's what you would do?
Now let's take the wink first, okay? So
Right, the wink, the
have
tongue.
you ever said something to somebody and it turned out to be right? You went like that. You winked at them. Now, did you flirt, or were you saying it was a good job? Or
Go on.
did you ever have somebody go up to somebody and go, "Wow, you did that lawn fantastic. Thank you." We have different expressions, and they don't all
I just
mean
had to
one
bring
thing.
that up to this.
Now, I will say there are sexual looks. No sexual harassment. Sexual looks. Sexual harassment. If you want to actually even, and it's not really looks, it's action, because you can't, from my eyes. If you notice, every time they brought the lips into it. So if you start going like that, okay, so that's not your eyes, that's your tongue. That's something different. If you're forced to be in a room with somebody who's doing that to you, I'll give you that sexual harassment.
Right.
I'll give you that. That's
Right.
but that's not a look. That's not a look. If you're in a room with somebody who's looking at you like they're in love with you, it doesn't matter. You've got to get over it. It's not up to them.
Right.
It's not up to them. It's up to you.
Right.
You're the one who feels uncomfortable.
Oh,
Whatever it is, you've got to work on it. It's not their responsibility to change it. You can ask them, could you please not look at me? You can do that. But you only have a certain amount of limited right to ask them where they can look or what they
Right.
should look at.
right.
You just don't have that type of
I
right.
mean, you don't go into their spaces where they are. Like, look, they had all cubicles. I did not go into her cubicle. When I would go through, I
And
didn't
even
go
if he
bars
did,
or-
it wouldn't matter.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you don't go into their spaces.
But see, someone like this takes the word assault
Right.
and takes the word harassment and spins it around to such a degree that it becomes, it's like racism. Everything is racist, so nothing
Yeah.
is racist at this point.
Now,
The more you
sexual
use the term racist, the less powerful it becomes. In the 1970s, if you were called a racist, you were like, no, that's not me. You don't understand. I don't think that way, man. And today, you call the racist, you're like, okay, all right, yeah, pedophile, racist. Pedophile. That's another one. Everybody's a pedophile. Everybody's called it. Nobody even knows what it fucking means at this point.
I hear you.
I swear to you, I'm not even joking. They think it's got something to do with a bike. I don't know quite how to explain it, but it's just the dumbest shit going, man. You take these words that actually have something, have some power behind them, for lack of a better term, and you take all the power away from it. And by doing so, like racism, okay, so you take that word and you make it so everyday normal that racism actually starts to breed from it.
Yeah.
And you actually start
That's right.
because what happens is it actually works in a reverse thing too, because you're calling so many people it that they start resenting it, and they start resenting what's calling them racist, and they're not looking at you as the media. They're looking at you
Mhm.
as the opposite color. So you're actually creating a lot of animosity.
Right.
Anyway.
Real quick, you want to know something real quick? Like
What?
we told you about the guy that with the assault there with the broomstick, and the other guy that touching the girls, flirting with them, and all of this. Well, others in my building. You ready for this? Literally, a guy, the CEO,
Yeah.
hold on, the CEO of DSM.
And he paid his way out of it.
Yeah, he showed a woman his penis.
Yeah.
Was able to work, but he showed his penis. I looked. Okay, now hold on, hold on. Then there was another guy. He would go like this to the girl, like this, the secretary, like behind her, look at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
computer and do all of this. He was back at work.
Yep.
He was back at work. No lie.
That's some dirty shit, man.
But I looked and I was abruptly removed from the building because I assaulted you with my eyes. So you better be careful. I'm dangerous.
The funny part, I gotta tell this story real quick.
Is that delusional or what, people?
I gotta tell this story.
Holy shit.
So, you women, honestly, not all of you, okay?
Not all.
Some of you are very cool. We're gonna throw a shout out to Jean. She's our favorite.
Jean.
We absolutely love you. Seriously, we 100%
Jean.
adore you. But some of you women out there, man,
Number one, Jean.
you got like a stick stuck up your ass or something. And the reason I'll say that is, so I'm walking my dog. I have these beautiful dogs, man. I mean, they're gorgeous. I'm not even kidding. I don't know if you could see my Kaylee laying right there. Yeah, let me see.
Beautiful.
There's my Kaylee, and there's my Jada. I mean, they're gorgeous. I'm sorry, I don't care what you say. They are gorgeous. So I'm walking them one day, right? And as I'm going down the street, oh man, she got jealous. Come here, let me see you. Go on my shoulder. Don't poop on me. Anyway, so I'm walking down the street, and I got my dog on one of those extended
leashes. It's the best, man.
Hey, where's the other one?
You tell me people
I was hoping to get back.
Delusional.
So they walk a little bit ahead. So I'm standing out, and we got to go the other direction.
Hey.
Come here, you.
There you go.
Come on. All right, guys. When the show's over, I'm gonna fly away. Okay. So my dogs are on a leash, and they're a little bit away from me, and we got to go the other way. So I go. There's a girl walking by, and I mean, you know, she wasn't ugly. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she was like a dog herself or anything like that. But I went, "Come on, beautiful," and she didn't hear me say, "I guess, come on" or something like that. She only heard "beautiful" and whatever went up through her mind. She goes, "Well," and gave me like this look. I said, "Ma'am, I was talking to my dogs, you know." And
what? This is what you get. This is what we get out there now.
I can't. I was whistling earlier really good, and I can't.
This is how delusional people have come. Seriously. You can't look at anyone.
You're not doing it for me.
We're supposed to walk around a workplace like this, right? Blindfolded now.
Come here. Come over here.
Come here. Went delusional, bro.
Come here. Come over here. Let me hear you. No, not you.
Sorry. Beautiful birds.
Wait, she's gonna do it for me.
Now, if you're sitting where I am, you can see the birds, like lips going like this.
There we go.
See? Like she's going like this with her mouth, like she wants to speak.
Come on.
That'd be funny if she starts speaking. There you go. Ready?
I want you to do it. Watch now.
I can't whistle like I used to.
Do it.
You gotta see her lips though, like she's going like this, right? That's fun. That's cute. Birds are smart, man. They really are. You ever hear when people say you're dumb as a bird? No, birds are fucking smart.
Bird brain.
Bird brain. Oh, you're bird brain. No, they're pretty smart.
I love my birds.
They're
Anyway,
pretty smart.
and
Hey, we'll get back,
majority of the time you hear me say how much I hate them,
we'll
but I
back
really
to
don't.
this, we'll get back to the rest of the second half because it gets even better.
Yeah, we'll pull this up. I'm glad we ended with the birds. That was kind of cool.
Talk about delusional people, guys.
They got jealous that I put the dogs on the screen. You believe that shit?
Oh, that's funny, man.
All right, guys, you know the drill. St. Jude's,
Shriner.
Shriners,
Easter Seals.
Foundling Home,
Ton of Fatalities coming
Wounded
up.
Warriors.
9/11's coming up next month.
Wounded Warriors.
Wounded Warriors.
Is there anything else I can think of? I don't know.
Shriner.
Kerry's GoFundMe. Listen, Kerry's got a GoFundMe. I'll put it down at the bottom here. At the bottom. Listen, we're not asking for a lot. I swear, we're not asking you for our 50s, 100s. If you can do that, by all means, do it. But if you can't, we're just looking for $5, $10. It all adds up. The man's having a really hard